He had been soused, but a great battle for, what, 6-7 laps between these two cars.
Yeah.
There's the onboard, but inevitably had to yield position to the quicker car on the day.
Yeah, disappointment for Nicky Katzberg because they've lost that place, but an entertaining tussle, no doubt about it, between those two. So, what's happening up front? There is your race leader. Aston Martin 1, 2, 3 with Andrea Piccini leading, Darren Turner in second and Alex Muller in third. But let's go, we've got an opportunity to speak to the man who was in the lead car earlier on, Christian Hohenadel.
Christian, once again, is the battle of the Aston Martins, but can you be the fastest this time?
I'm not sure. It's quite difficult here. You have to do no mistake at all. I think the important thing is stay on the track, collecting points. At the moment, it looks very good for us. 10 minutes to go. We are still in the lead. But in terms of the championship, we have to finish the race, and that is the important thing so far.
Thank you.
And if they finish where they are, and if Michael Krum, who has got a bit closer to the back of that Aston Martin, doesn't get past Alex Muller, then the gap between them will be actually very close to the points going into Argentina. You know, this victory, if it holds for Piccini and Hohenadel, will mean that we will have a very tight tussle going into the final rounds. It won't be with Basseng and Winkelhock, but it will be Piccini and Hohenadel versus Krum here and Lucas Luhr.
And suddenly Michael Krum has found pace where the lead three cars are all hovering around similar lap times. Michael Krum picked up half a second there. You see 0.8 of a second on lap 35. It's pretty much status quo on lap 34. But suddenly Michael Krum is getting grip and traction and is going to challenge Alex Muller for the third place in the Gulf Young Driver Aston Martin.
Yeah, Krum has been consistently fast, but what he cannot do, John, is take any big risks because they've got the championship lead. If it stays as it is, they'll still be leading the championship going into the final rounds in Argentina. But on the other hand, I suppose, they'll also be aware that the car that's leading this race will be right with them in the points if it stays like this.
Just under 8 minutes remaining. Michael Krum has made his move. He's got himself to a point on a bit of a break in the middle of the corner for Alex Muller. He had to get out of the throttle. That's encouragement for... Oh, and that Corvette is off.
Yeah, it's Jeroen de Boer in the number 11 car. That's a great shame. We saw that car off in the hands of Ho Pin Tung in the first race. It's gone off in turn one into the gravel, and they'll never be able to push that out, clearly. No chance, guys, not through that gravel trap.
No, that car will be there pretty much now, I would imagine, for the remaining 7 minutes and 20-odd seconds. And the marshals vainly try to push it. It's like no chance.
No, they beach themselves in these gravel traps. They sink a long way. A big heavy car anyway. So let's see where the race director goes for the safety car. No sign of that in the moment. They may just stick with it with yellow flags at that area.
I think it'll be a localised yellow. They had a finish under the yellow flag effectively in the qualifying race. They will do everything that they possibly can to have this race run to the flag without having to once again have a safety car intervention.
Michael Krum still close in behind here for Nissan. Let's go and talk to the boss of the Nissan team, James Rumsey.
James, Michael's wanting to put the pressure on Alex. Can he take the Aston?
We hope so. He's definitely got the pace on the number 7, I believe it is. So he's taking some time out of him. We'll push for the podium.
Thank you.
He's pushing for the podium, but can he get past? That's the question. The last couple of laps, actually, the Aston Martins have started going a little quicker. I don't know whether the conditions are any better. It still looks pretty wet to me. But up front, Piccini, actually his last lap, Piccini, wasn't so good. It was a 1:13.0. He didn't know what... Oh, right, I see. Safety car has been deployed. They've backed off. That's why their lap times are not so good.
Well, so much for my expectation for this race finishing without the safety car, without a yellow flag situation. And that's unfortunate, but in the interest of safety, that car probably in a fairly precarious position. What you're seeing now is in effect the result of the race. I don't know whether we're going to get that removed in time, but just under 6 minutes remaining. It's a shame, but we have to think of safety first.
Yeah, we may not unfortunately see another racing lap. There is the team boss of the car that is leading at the moment, the Hexis Aston Martin, although just having a look, something as the safety car picked up the wrong car because the race leader has not been picked up. That's very odd. Where is Andrea Piccini? Andrea Piccini should be leading this group in the Hexis Aston Martin. Either he wasn't picked up by the safety car or he's got a problem, and I'm not quite sure what the problem or what the story is. maybe he got it. Maybe the safety car tried to get out in front of him and failed.
Well, I don't know. He saw the concern on the pit wall, the Hexus team, hand to the mouth as if what's gone wrong. Certainly right now we're not seeing the Hexus car in the lead of the race. We're seeing Darren Turner leading the race from Alex Muller and Michael Kroom in third place.
Yeah.
And looking down the list, where is Appici? It is down in 10th place for some reason on timing and scoring. The car has gone from leading to 10th.
So something is going on here for Hexus Racing. We're not quite clear what has happened, but right now it looks as though the young driver Aston Martins could be on top, unless it's just a procedural situation with the safety car coming out, but I don't think it is, because as the timing and scoring picks them all up, if he was ahead of the safety car he would have come around ahead, and that hasn't happened. So this is very, very strange. Something has happened to the Hexus Racing car that was leading, and there it is. Oh, he's in the gravel. Our former race leader Andrea Piccini is out, and the championship changes utterly now, because instead of it being close going into Argentina, suddenly Michael Kroom and Lucas Law are sitting very pretty. They've got a third place finish here, and these guys are out of it. What drama in Beijing.
Well, what happened? Andrea Piccini had a comfortable position. Now, the top three cars, the previous two laps, had all pushed very hard indeed. They were into the middle 11 seconds. Look at that, the despondency in the Aston Martin. Now, that's the young driver Aston Martin end of the garage, not the Hexus end of the garage, but certainly disappointment that their team fellow Mark is no longer in the race, or not certainly in a point-scoring position.
Well,
10th place is the last place.
Talk about going from disaster to success. Lucas Law went off in qualifying yesterday in the number 23 Nissan. The championship leaders had to start from pretty much at the back of the qualifying race. It looked as though they weren't going to score many points, and their big rivals, the Lamborghini of Basseng and Winkelhock's been going well all weekend, and so has the Hexus, their other big rivals of Hohen Ardel and Piccini. It has all turned around. Kroom and Law's major challengers have gone out of this race in big way, and it means that Kroom and Law will be sitting pretty.
Yes, that's on the exit, I think, of turn 7. Whether that was a driver error or whether it was something else, we have to wait and see if we can get a replay of that. Totally unexpected. We didn't expect any pressure at the front. At the Hexus leading comfortably, well, by a second anyway, from the two young driver Astons. Andrea Piccini, well, that's coming into turn 8 out of 7 into 8.
Let's get down and see if we can learn a bit more in the pits.
Sadly, the race is over for both cars in the team. Do you know what happened?
I don't know what happened. I just want to say one word. We are the best team in the world this year. We are the best team. The best. And we are at the top.
Thank you.
Oh, you have to feel for these guys. 1 moment ago, John, they had a chance not only of winning the team's championship, but also the drivers' championship. It has all gone now, and I tell you what, Kroom and Law, if they finish where they are in third, will have almost wrapped this title up. Meanwhile, the young driver are still looking at an Aston Martin 1-2 for their team, and that would be a remarkable result, a remarkable finish. The safety car is out. It's not looking likely that we're going to go back to racing here, and it looks as though Darren Turner and Stefan Mucker will take the win. Let's just wait and see, though. I don't like to call it until we've got to the checkered flag.
The safety car may defer into the pit lane at the end of this lap, give them literally one more racing lap. But no, it's not. It's no, is it
staying out?
Staying out, it is.
Yeah, lights are still on, so I don't think we're going to see a restart. And this certainly has changed everything in the last few laps. We're on the last lap.
Lost it coming through the exit of 6.
My God,
what went wrong there? I mean, we've not seen a car go off there at any point on the weekend. And on the exit of turn 6 there, with the pursuing young driver Aston Martin's not putting any threat or challenge onto that car. And Andrea Piccini, for some reason, now we may have issues, mechanical issues we're not aware of.
Yep.
So let's give the driver the benefit of the doubt, but he is a passenger. All of a sudden, skating off the racetrack, skating into the gravel trap, and buries the Aston.
That is remarkable. I mean, Piccini's an experienced driver. Did something break? You have to wonder. Did something go wrong? Because he had a comfortable lead. He didn't need to be pushing that hard. Even if the cars had caught right up to him, it's so hard to pass here. Something has happened there, or Piccini's made a mistake. We'll have to find out afterwards. But it has had a massive, massive effect on the championship, and it means that Law and Kroom will need only a point or two, I think, when they go to Argentina to wrap up the World Championship. It has turned around completely for the German pairing.
Slow down the safety car. They wouldn't have to do as this is the final lap, so whatever happens, this is a race complete.
It is. It's all over, bar crossing the cars over the line, and Jan Struve and Hardy Fischer will be able to celebrate a young driver 1-2 finish for Aston Martin. And I tell you what, this will also be a very big day for Stefan Mucker, because it'll be his first win. Oh, look, the safety car nearly went off there. The safety car got into a huge slide. So they come round to take the checkered flag, and it's victory for Darren Turner and Stefan Mucker. Mucker wins his first ever GT1 championship race. Second goes to Alex Muller and Thomas Enger. Thomas celebrating his 35th birthday tomorrow. Nearly got the win, but not quite. But it's Michael Krum and Lucas Lohr who are really in a great position in the championship, courtesy of third.
Well, who could have predicted the outcome of this one? But look at the joy in the young driver Aston Martin pit lane. Two victories. We had saw two victories from Ford last week in Nordas. Two victories now for Aston Martin. And there is delight. I suspect there'll be a lot of schnapps and there'll be a few cigars tonight.
Yeah. Hardy Fischer, the brains behind the team. Jan Struve, owner of those young driver cars, who's put this GT1 campaign together that has run so successfully for the last 2 years. Their first win since Nürburgring last year in the championship race. So absolutely stunning performance by both their cars. And one race, John, they had one car leading and it swapped at the pit stops, and it did exactly the same in the second race.
Yes, and just great teamwork all around. Stefan Mucker with a smile on his face. He hasn't had that on for quite some time. Did his job in the opening stint, kept the car in contention. Darren took over, and well, it was the misfortune of Andrea Piccini. We don't know yet what the cause was, but sometimes you've got to be lucky rather than fast, and that was the case. Darren was fast, not fast enough to challenge the Hexus Aston Martin for victory, but good enough to take victory when the Hexus car went into the gravel.
It has been an eventful day here in China, with massive implications in terms of the championship. Lohr and Krum virtually crowned now, because they have a big lead in the points table. We'll confirm that in a little while. But the Aston Martin's coming out on top. It could have been an Aston Martin 1-2-3. It wasn't to be in the end because of Andrea Piccini going off. And look at the big smiles on the faces of everybody here. Thomas Enger, well, second place in the end. His teammates got the victory this time, but well done to Darren Turner. He was in the right place at the right time when the lead car went off. And he's also congratulating Lucas Lohr, and Lucas will be massively relieved after their point situation looks so strong. But actually, of course, Darren Turner and Stefan Mucker, I must say, actually, they have put themselves a little bit into that championship hunt. I must not discount them, because they were on 95 points coming into this race. So actually, Lohr and Krum won't have it all their own way, because these guys will still be in a chance of the championship chase themselves.
Well, how much fortunes have changed in the space of these two events here in Beijing at Golden Port Circuit. A circuit that really 2.4 kilometres around. It's a busy racetrack. It's a super little racetrack, as it turns out. I think everybody here this weekend has enjoyed driving on it. But what a switch around in fortunes.
A massive turnaround. But there's one thing that has been consistent, and that is Aston Martin's performance.
And again, I mean, we had 3 Astons on the podium in the qualifying race, 2 Astons on the podium, should have been 3 in the championship race.
So, yeah, Darren will go to Argentina with a chance of winning that championship again. It's a bit like last year when they were quite a long way back, but they still had a chance. And, well, they will go once more to Argentina, where the Aston Martin, I have to say, works well. They will have ballast on board, though, as a result of their performances here. And last year, that did seem to hold them back. Anyway, that's for another time. That's for a fantastic finale that we're all looking forward to. Let's just focus on what has gone on here today, and let's get down to our successful crew. They are Darren Turner and Stefan Mucker.
Congratulations on a mega weekend, Darren. You must be happy to have that over and done with. What a challenge it was.
Yeah, I mean, great race. Probably the most difficult of the year. Really difficult conditions, and at one point we're leading, at one point we're second, and it was just really grateful when the Hexus went off and then the safety car came out. It sort of brought the race to an end, but it was a good race in just very difficult conditions.
Congratulations, Stefan. A nice battle there between yourselves and the sister car.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I've done just 3 race laps, so it was quite not so long for me. But it was quite difficult conditions, so it was absolutely the right decision also to start the race back.